Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome back to Me and My Shadow. Hope everybody is doing well. Excuse me. As you can see, thanks to my buddy Road Rash, which I'll put a link to his channel. You guys need to go check him out. He gave me the excellent idea of adjusting my handlebars. And this is going to be really my first ride with the adjustment on the handlebars. Try to get used to it. I think I'm going to like it. So guys, always wanting to give full credit where credit is completely due. I did adjust my handlebars, and if you haven't seen his video, go check it out. It's much more in depth. I'll just tell you that you pop these little covers off, loosen up the bolts underneath, and then you adjust the handlebars to where you want them to be. Mine were down here quite a bit, as you've seen in previous videos, and I moved them up to here. I think it's going to be a much more comfortable riding position. Thank you, Road Rash Restoration Redline. I always mess up your name, but I'll put your channel, link it somewhere around in here for your viewing pleasures, so you guys go check him out. But I've also, when you do that, like he mentioned in his video, you need to loosen these, because as you bring these up, these are going to go down. So I had to adjust my clutch and my brake accordingly. It's not hard. You just loosen them and move them up to where you need them to be. But anyway, enough about that. Let's test this baby out. Oh, another benefit of this too is the windshield height change. Wow. Thank you, Road Rash, again. Ooh, this thing seems to turn. It's going to take me a little bit of getting used to. Oh my gosh, this is so much more comfortable. You know, and in Road Rash's defense, he did tell me several months ago about rolling these handlebars forward, that I would probably like it a lot better. And I read the comment and said I'm going to have to do that, and then I didn't do it until he actually put his own video out, and I was like, I need to go do that. And believe me, guys, I'm happy with it. And you know what, like I was telling him, it makes sense. Actually, my wife said this: how many times when you were a kid and you had your bicycle did you adjust your handlebars? A lot. Cruisers. Why do people such as me enjoy cruisers? Now, I will be 150% honest and tell you that I have never, ever ridden a sport bike. I've sat on them to try to see what the position would be like. But to me, guys, sport bikes, and this isn't cruiser versus sport bike, this is more about cruisers, but I wanted to get the sport bike thing out of the way, because I honestly think that choosing the type of motorcycle that you ride is based upon what kind of riding you really want to do. And I'm not bad mouthing any kind of sport bike at all. They're fast, they're nimble, and they really perform for what folks that are looking for that kind of riding experience are going to get, right? They're quick. But see, I'm not real interested in the big twisties. I'm more interested in comfort and cruising. And there's some things about the cruiser that everybody just loves, man. And it doesn't have to be a Honda Shadow 750, though I think it should be. But it doesn't have to be. There are hundreds of cruisers out there, hundreds of different kinds of cruisers, because they're popular. And my question is, why are they so popular? Well, they're so popular for a really good reason. They're comfortable, they look good, they have a classic feel. So let's break it down. My riding position, number one. And I think about sport bikes a lot with riding position. because the difference between a sport bike leaning forward and having your foot pegs kicked back is so much different than what a cruiser is. And obviously a sport bike is going to be designed for that, for specific performance reasons. But a cruiser is more or less sitting in an upright position. It's kind of hard to show you while I'm driving here, but my legs, I have mid controls. Some cruisers have forward controls where your feet are more out in front of you. Mine are mid controls, and I enjoy the ergonomics of it. It's easy on my back. It's a comfortable ride. It's something that I can keep riding for quite some time without any, back pain issues or anything like that. And it's funny, if you see anybody riding a sport bike, and again, please don't think I'm ragging on the sport bikes, I'm really not. But if you see somebody riding a sport bike, man, they are usually, when they get to a stop sign, they stand up on it. And they stand up on it because, well, they have to wait for the light or stoplight or whatever. But they also, when you're leaning forward and you're down so much like that, it starts putting pressure on your hands and your forearms and stuff like that. And it just, to me, isn't as comfortable. And maybe it's age, I don't know, maybe I'm just an old fart that doesn't understand. Twisties. Now, I like twisty roads just like anybody else, but I don't have to have twisty roads, okay? Some people gotta have twisties, and they've got to have that constant, more technical ride. I'm fine. I'm just a straight road with slow curves, man. I don't have to have the huge twisty experience, the tail of the dragon experience. Even though I'd love to go ride the tail of the dragon, and I probably will before I die, I don't have to have it. I'm good on just a nice straight road with great scenery, nice cruising speed and stuff like that. So I guess if you're looking at different motorcycles and you're trying to decide, what do I want? Do I want a sport bike? Do I want an adventure touring bike? Do I want this? Do I want that? It all comes down to the kind of riding that you want. And you may start out on, say, a cruiser and find that your riding experience is something that you'd rather have, a little bit more performance, a little bit more getting into the twisties, a little more speed, stuff like that. And you may switch to a sports bike or an adventure bike. But another thing about cruisers, and I mentioned it before, is the height. Most cruisers are low slung. You can flat foot them. I am 5'9.5". And I can flat foot this thing all day long. So when I'm at a stoplight, or if I have a train crossing or something like that, it's easier for me to just put my feet down. They're flat on the ground. I got a lot more. Well, when I started out riding, it built a lot more confidence is what it did, because I felt like I had more control of the bike. So that's why I also have said that the Honda Shadow 750 is an excellent beginner bike, and it really is. Crazy traffic today, guys. Yeah, so I think that's why people like cruisers, plus the overall look. Now, cruisers are not considered standard motorcycles. Standard motorcycles, I think, are more naked. But if you think about it, a cruiser doesn't have a whole lot of fairing on it. Cruisers have pretty much opened up. They don't have a lot of plastic on them and things like that you have to, so they're easy to work on. They're very easy to work on. They make life simple when you've got to change oil and got to get to the battery, or to the, in my case, the carburetors, or the chain, or anything like that. You don't have a ton of stuff you have to take off, which on baggers and on sport bikes, there's quite a bit more fairing. And so that's another good reason that if you like to work on bikes, a cruiser is a very easy bike to work on. And the other thing that kind of goes hand in hand with that is the aftermarket support on cruisers, especially used cruisers, metrics. Like I've got a Japanese bike, Harley, stuff like that. They've been around for a long time, and there are tons of different aftermarket things that you can add or change your bike with. You can get just about anything you want. You can get fairing, you can get a batwing fairing, change your windshield out real easy, and the parts are very accessible. And for the most part, if you're going to be changing your bike up a little bit, there's that low band power I was talking about. Woo! Love it. But if you're going to be adding or changing things, you can make the bike whatever you really want it to be. You can take a Honda Shadow 750 and turn it into a little bagger. You can take it and turn it into a bobber. There's all different types of things that you can do with the bike to make it yours, to make it fit your personality and suit what you want the bike to do. And and the market for buying add-ons and things like that, aftermarket parts and things like that, is huge. The support for it's huge out there. So there's a lot you can do with a cruiser, especially the metrics, the Japanese bikes like this one. Reliability of the metric cruisers, especially the Honda Shadow 750. Now, those of you that watch my channel know that I go into reliability ad nauseum, right? There's nothing like the reliability of a Honda Shadow 750, or for the most part, there's nothing like the reliability of any metric cruiser. Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki, they're just built to last, man. The engines, as long as you treat them right, are going to treat you right. And that's another thing, most people that own cruisers take good care of their bikes because they're easy to work on. It's easy to change the chain. It's easy to change the oil. It's easy to check your fluids. It's not difficult at all. So that's another plus. And finally, the last thing I got for this is affordability. Now, going out and buying a brand new cruiser off the lot, you're going to pay a little bit more. And actually, even if you go buy a used cruiser, metric, off of the dealership floor, you're going to pay a little extra. But if you go to the dealership, you're actually going to be pretty much guaranteed that that bike has been looked over and it's ready to go. It's ready to run. If you buy from a private owner, you may find a different story with that. So, but the price, you can get a whole lot of bike for not a lot of money. And that's a plus too, especially when you're just getting started. So, they're maneuverable, they're safe, they've got plenty of power, they're comfortable as hell, seating position, especially when you adjust your handlebars where you like them, right? A guy was looking at me like, that dude's crazy, he's talking to himself. And I am. I'm talking to a camera. I am crazy. I don't care. I'm cruising and I'm having a good time. So, when you're considering purchasing a bike, consider the cruiser. Obviously, consider the Honda Shadow 750. Man, it's a great bike. That's all I can think of right now. I hope that tweaks your interest a little bit, and if you have any questions about V-twin cruisers, metric cruisers, American cruisers, let me know in the comments. Be happy to answer anything I can, and trust me, if I can't answer it, there are 15 million experts on my channel. No, not 15 million, but there's a lot of people that know a lot more than me. People like Road Rash that are actually smart and adjust the handlebars for comfort. Anyway, guys, It's a beautiful day right now. We're expecting to get some pretty horrible weather later. So I won't bore you. That's just the topic I had. Why do people like cruisers? Leave a comment and let me know why you like cruisers. I'm sure I missed something. You guys always catch me with something I miss. But thank you guys so much for watching the channel. It is greatly appreciated, as always. Thank you. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome, 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 welcome to the channel. It's the adventure is just getting started. I've got camping video coming up shortly, and not gonna get me copper. Sorry, I always think that. Why is it when you're riding a motorcycle, instead of feeling, when you see a police officer, instead of feeling protected, you get nervous? Or is that just me? I don't know. There's a joke in there somewhere, I guess. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Thank you guys again so much for subscribing to the channel, watching the channel, commenting. Please, please leave a like. The likes really help the channel grow, really help it get out there. So leave a comment and like the video if you liked it. You hate it, thumbs me down. Doesn't matter. And if you are interested in further videos, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell, where you don't miss whenever I post. I try to post every Friday or Saturday, unless I got something going on. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching me in my shadow. I'm going to go run some errands and do some plumbing work at the house, stuff that I'm sure you guys would not be interested in watching. Y'all take care. You have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching me in my shadow. More to come. And guys, as I always try to remember to say, it does not matter what you ride. What matters is if you ride. Everybody take care. Have a great day.